Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. We'll begin in 60 seconds.
Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on trap me. Trapping with my friend right here. That's what I say. The past St. Jack's to ending up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When it left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Maybe the whole fucking year. Oh, Leon, bitch, I'm fucking prepared. This is my love song when I drunk off the beer. Just no feelings. I come with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the TikTok don't stop. I was at Shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot clot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a so shot. You get high with the Don. Here's the...
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, that's my buddy, Juan C. Vasquez, and I'm blessing his game because every time somebody watches the video, he gets paid. So I always try to help out a fellow patriot when I can. I'm going to have Juan on the show. We're not going to talk about his movies that he's done, music videos, even his music catalog. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff because Juan is very well educated and we have some very deep discussions. I'm surprised. Yeah, I didn't quite expect that, but it is what it is. But that's not what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight, I'm going to cover something because I've been working on my own state writ of habeas corpus pursuant to Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 1107, which is actually the procedure, the mechanisms behind filing a state writ of habeas corpus. Okay, the actual authority is Article 1108. And then if you go look at 1109 would be the authority to challenge a misdemeanor conviction. So that's what I'm going back in on Article 1107. However, should have this been my first filing for my writ of habeas corpus, having I not ever not been in any type of court, which means that, let me explain to you how this works, okay? You get convicted, right? Boom, you get sentenced. Boom, you file your notice of appeal. Boom. In Texas, we go to a court of appeals. Then it goes to the Court of Criminal Appeals. Then we can do a writ of certiorari to the United States Supreme Court on our direct appeal. Okay, once we've exhausted that avenue, those remedies, we go back in under Article 1107 for a state writ of habeas corpus. So while that's going on through those machinations, once we've completed that remedy, our next recourse would be a Title 28 United States Code Section 2254, which is the authority and procedure to challenge a state felony conviction in federal court. Title 28 USC Section 2255 allows federal prisoners to challenge their federal sentence. Or if you're a state prisoner and have a federal sentence stacked, you would file the 2255 on your federal sentence, a 2254 on your state sentence. You got that? All right. We're going to go over and we're going to go look at these. And the reason that I did this is because way back when, years ago, there was somebody that was, pontificating that they were very knowledgeable. I'm not going to mention any names, so I'm not going to do that. But, what you see is a different story. So this person alluded to doing specific things that obviously never took place. I proved that over and over and over and over. And in doing so, with these series of videos that I did on this individual and their legal acumen or claims or whatever you want to call it, I told them, hey, listen, reach out to Fearless Floyd. I'll tell you what to do, because you have no idea what you're doing because you're a legal moron. And they didn't. So last night I was like, ding, hey, somebody should have already filed their 2254 and it should probably be pending. And if it's not pending, it's probably been adjudicated, and that means writ of search warrant to the United States Supreme Court, right? So I should be able to go to pacer.gov, which is the database for the U.S. District Courts and Courts of Appeal, United States Supreme Court, and just look them up. Well, people out there play like they're, some legal eagle and they know the law just because they read and they go, repost what they just read in Cornell law or wherever. But do they really know it? Do they practice it? Have they done it? Have they exhausted that remedy? No. Sadly, very sadly and regretfully, I have multiple times. So many times that I came to the conclusion that, they're just going to let you win when they want to let you win, and it doesn't matter what you put in front of them. And they will restrain you in court, in open court. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Ankle chains, waist belt, locked to my handcuffs locked in a lockbox like this. That's how I was in court litigating. In Walker County, Texas. I swear, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but truth, so help me God. So when these clowns want to get on social media and express that they are just some kind of legal eagle, legal beagle, legal whatever they want to be, and you guys just like go, okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you over there. Y'all think that guy is just brilliant. But he doesn't have a track record. He has nothing, or she has nothing that you can go look at and vet. You can't go to pacer.gov and look them up and go, oh my God, look at all the cases this fool filed. Pro se, pro se, pro per, pro se, pro se. What? Man, they were at all levels. They were on the district court level. They were at the Court of Appeals level. They all were at Supreme Court. Let me Google their name and Google Scholar or LexisNexis or Westlaw. Boom. Oh my God, they're published. You wonder why I don't do legal work for people? Because it's fucking so complicated. It's hard. It's difficult. People who call me and they're in some kind of situation, they go, hey, Floyd, what should I do? Hey, I can give you counseling on the legal machinations all day long. I've been very successful at that. Probably 100% of those who listened to everything that I said and they did exactly as I told them to do, without fail. They closed their eyes and said, okay, Floyd, I'm going to trust you. Because at the end of the day, all you're looking for is to come out of the courthouse free with a smile on your face. Okay. Whatever is settled, that's what you're looking for. You don't want to come out of there pissed off, angry, and all that stuff. And I see it all the time. So it's easy for you to go vet everything that I'm telling you right here. And I'm going to actually guide you step by step. We're going to go on this little path, and we're going to step on these stepping stones, and I'm going to take you on this little journey, and I'm going to show you what should have happened, but what has not happened. Why hasn't it happened? Because the person pontificating to be a legal guru out there giving you advice on many different topics, because I see him post all this stuff on social media. I see a lot of people post stuff on social media. Most of these people have no idea what the hell they're doing. Never litigated. Never had a real case to litigate. Has never been in front of a judge and talked down a judge. Never made a state hire an attorney to defend the state because the Attorney General's office wasn't capable enough. So when you find me somebody like that on social media, you call me. You send them my way. I'll put them on my show. We'll have a nice discussion. But these people are frauds. They're fakers. I don't know if they're doing it for fame or what the hell they're doing. That's why I don't care how many subscribers I have. I don't care how many people watch my videos. I really don't. I'm going to sit here and do what I do day after day because you know what? I just got to get one person. That's it. That's all. That's all he told me to do. Just get one a day, Floyd. One a day. You cannot save the world, so don't try. You're just one man, one human, one voice. So here I am. I've told you the truth over and over and over again. And people don't want to hear it. They don't want to listen. They want to continue to live the lie. That's no life, is it? So let's dive in. Let me go show you the bona fides, okay? So I know for a fact this person exhausted their direct appeal, okay? And we're going to go look at it. Sure, there we go. Pop it right up for you guys. And now, listen, some of you may get real ill at the end of this video or even during the video for what you're about to see because you've probably listened to this person, followed this person, or done something in this person's whatever realm. Now you're going to be sick. You're going to be like, man, this person's a freaking moron. All you had to do is just watch Fearless Floyd and listen to Fearless Floyd and call Fearless Floyd. Fearless Floyd has a good heart. He likes to help people. Floyd likes to win. I don't care what your case is because I've done, God, I can't tell you how many sex cases when I was on the wind farm because it was a sex offender farm. 70% of the population on the wind unit were sex offenders. That meant because I was there for a DWI that when I sat at a four-top table, statistically, I'm the straight guy. Everybody else is a major offender. Absolutely. So I've read these cases. I've seen this stuff just over and over and over ad nauseum. But here we go. And as you see, this one right here is the Court of Criminal Appeals for this place called Tennessee, right here. There's your Tennessee courts. All right. So for Texas, we have intermediate courts of appeals. We actually have 15 of them now. But here in Tennessee, they have the Court of Criminal Appeals. And then they have the Tennessee Supreme Court. So the direct appeal process there in Tennessee, you go from your trial court, boom, over here to the Court of Criminal Appeals, and then boom, over here to the Supreme Court. Right? So you're more than welcome to go watch these videos, and you can listen to all the parties involved. You can see all the judges and justices and defendants' counsel and state's attorney. Actually, that's the attorney for Tennessee right there. And you can listen to what they have to say. If you followed me, you would know the key word that you're looking for, because now you can go pull up the transcripts and just, copy it and go paste it and then do a search, word search. You're looking for the word jurisdiction. If you can find the word jurisdiction in either of these two cases, you let me know, because they don't exist. I couldn't find them. Yep. So right here, as you see the Tennessee of Supreme Court, this one was 3 years ago. All right. Now you need to keep that years in mind. All right. Because what we're looking for here is 365 days. All right. This has 40,000 views. 40,000 views. People went and watched this. This one's 10,000. I don't know why you didn't go watch this one first and then go watch this one. But, people are weird. I've watched both of these. I've shown them on my shows. Absolutely. So you're more than welcome to go watch those videos, or you can trust me and trust, because that's where it comes from. I have no reason to lie. So, I want to stay logged in. Whew, man. All right. We'll go do the search together. All right. So this is what I want to show you right here. This is the old friendly. This was signed into law by President William Jefferson Clinton, approved by a Republican Congress, so fondly known as the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act of 1996, or fondly known as ADEPA. Now, let me read this to you, folks. Let me get you a full screen there. Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act of 1996 was passed by the 107th Congress to deter, okay, listen to this quote, and I'm quoting, to deter terrorism, provide justice for victims, provide an effective death penalty, and for other purposes. Oh, well, guess who got the other purposes? And we didn't even get any Vaseline to go with it. So let me dive in further to the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act for other purposes. To accomplish this goal, some of the ADEPA provisions include increasing penalties for crimes involving explosives or terrorism, providing restitution for victims of terrorism, and setting new legal procedures for capital cases. The most notable changes enacted by ADEPA were made to the law of habeas corpus. ADEPA's habeas reform provisions, codified in 28 U.S.C. Section 2254, included a statute of limitations for habeas corpus claims and restriction on habeas petitioners' ability to file a second habeas petition. Section 2254D narrowed the grounds on which successful habeas claims can be made by allowing claims only to succeed when the court decisions, one, and I quote, was contrary to or involved an unreasonable application of clearly established federal law as determined by the Supreme Court of the United States, close quote, or number two, and I quote again, was based on an unreasonable determination of facts in the light of the evidence presented in state court proceeding, close quote. Here's your case, Felker versus Turpin. And oddly enough, Turpin, right here, Turpin, is a bastardization of, everybody, Tarvin. Yes, absolutely. So this is a distant cousin that when they came to the United States, due to some immigrants' inability to write in English or cursive, and in the translation, Tarvin became Turpin somehow, or Tarver, but all those iterations similar to that. Anyway, that's a little background. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but there you go. And you can go into all this. You're more than welcome to go do this all yourself, but this is ADEPA. What ADEPA does is provide the statute of limitations right here. We're going to click on that, and hopefully that'll take you over there to where we need to go. Statute of limitations. Let me see if my screen changes. There we go. Beautiful. A statute of limitations is any law that bars claims after a certain period of time passes after injury. The period of time varies on the jurisdiction and the type of claim. All right. So there you go. That's statute of limitations. Now, what is the statute of limitations for 2254 to be able to file? Floyd, do you know? Absolutely, I know. So let me tell you. It doesn't matter what stage you're at as far as your direct appeal. Okay? Because once you get convicted and sentenced, then you have generally 15 days to file notice of appeals, some up to 30 days, but generally it's 15. So boom, you file your notice of appeal. You're still in court. Okay, that's what they call this. You're still in court. All right. So you go to, I'm just going to use Texas for a simple example. You go to the Court of Appeals, First Court of Appeals here in Houston. Boom. All right. They affirm the trial court's decision. I do what's called a PDR, a petition for discretionary review, filed to the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, because I don't think that they gave me a valid opinion on their affirmation of the trial court's finding of guilt or sentence or whatever issues I bring up. So the CCA has a ability to remedy or refuse or deny the PDR. Mine was refused. So, bam, what's your next step, Floyd? Well, I did a writ of certiorari to the United States Supreme Court. So I'm still in court now because I wasn't a legal eagle. I wasn't a legal beagle. I wasn't a legal expert. I wasn't a legal guru. I didn't know jack shit. I had to learn on the fly. And it wasn't like I could walk in a prison law library and go, oh my God, look at all these legal scholars, these juris doctorates. Oh my God, I can't wait to ask them all these questions and learn exactly what I need to do. Nope. So you can just imagine what the law library looks like in prison. Okay. There's some smart people in there, but you know, maybe one on a unit had some kind of legal education, you know, like they tried law school and dropped out, or, you know, they took some legal classes, something like that. But for the most part, you learn it on your own. It's by trial and error. So I learned something very quickly in my process. I needed to delay, okay, everything I could as long as I could, so I could learn. So I knew what the hell I was doing. So I'm always filing these motion for leaves for an extension of time to file this. And I would file those until they wouldn't let me file them anymore. And they're like, nope, don't. We've already given you 180 days extensions. It's time to file your shit, dude. But I did that on everything because I'm in the law library, man. I'm studying, I'm reading, I'm in my cell, I'm reading. And for 8 years, that's what my life was. Balls to the wall, all day, every day, all night, eat, sleep, breathe, shit, smoke, fart, law. That's what I did. So as long as you're in court, those 365 days under ADEPA, what's called equitable tolling. Equitable tolling. Okay? Because every day that you're not in court, you lose a day. And when you lose all 365 days, next, you missed it. You missed the boat. That's called time barred. Yeah, time barred. But, if you know anything about the law and you actually read it and studied it, there's another avenue or two. But that's for another day, another discussion. We're talking about the 2254 and why somebody didn't file their 2254. Who claims jurisdiction. You know, you didn't even take your Tennessee case to the United States Supreme Court on search warrant. You took that. I mean, the nonsense is maddening. All right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for next. All righty. Here we go with section 2254. State custody, remedies in federal courts. Section A. The Supreme Court, a justice thereof, a circuit court, or a district court shall entertain an application for writ of habeas corpus in behalf of a person in custody pursuant to the judgment of a state court only on the ground that he or she is in custody in violation of the Constitution or laws or treaties of the United States. B. 1. An application for writ of habeas corpus on behalf of a person in custody pursuant to the judgment of a state court shall not be granted unless it appears that A. The applicant has exhausted the remedies available in the courts of the state, or B. I, or 1, lowercase 1, whatever you want to call that, there is an absence of available state corrective process, or 2, circumstances exist that render such a process ineffective to protect the rights of the applicant. 2. An application for writ of habeas corpus may be denied on the merits, notwithstanding the failure of the applicant to exhaust the remedies available in the courts of the state, which means you must utilize the direct appellate process. And if they have a state habeas corpus proceeding, you must exhaust it prior to filing in federal court. 3. The state shall not be deemed to have waived the exhaustion requirement or be stopped from reliance upon the requirement unless the state, through counsel, expressly waives the requirement. C. The applicant shall not be deemed to have exhausted the remedies available in the courts of the state within the meaning of this section if he or she has the right under the law of the state to raise by any available procedure the question presented. D. An application for writ of habeas corpus on behalf of a person in custody pursuant to the judgment of a state court shall not be granted with respect to any claim that was adjudicated on the merits in state court proceedings unless the adjudication of the claim, 1, resulted in a decision that was contrary to or involved an unreasonable application of clearly established federal law as determined by the Supreme Court of the United States, or 2, resulted in a decision that was based on an unreasonable determination of the facts in light of the evidence presented in the state court proceeding. Jurisdictional defects can be brought up at any stage of the proceedings and at any time, even if you are not in court. E. 1. In a proceeding instituted by an application for writ of habeas corpus by a person in custody pursuant to the judgment of a state court, a determination of a factual issue made by a state court shall be presumed to be correct. The applicant shall have the burden of rebutting the presumption of correctness by clear and convincing evidence. E2. If the applicant has failed to develop the factual basis of a claim in state court proceedings, the court shall not hold an evidentiary hearing on the claim unless the applicant shows that A, the claim relies on a new rule of constitutional law made retroactive to cases on collateral review by the Supreme Court that was previously unavailable, or two, a factual predicate that could not have been previously discovered through the exercise of due diligence, and to B, the facts underlying the claim would be sufficient to establish by clear and convincing evidence that, but for constitutional error, no reasonable fact finder would have found the applicant guilty of the underlying offense. I can go on and on and on this with it if you want, but basically, this is what ADEPA is. This is 2254. So this is what you would file. In a federal district court. So generally, a state habeas corpus proceeding should be relatively quick, 2 years max. Mine went almost 4 years because they deliberately held my writ in Harris County in the district court for almost 2 years. Deliberately, yeah. That's a whole nother story. So I've shown you the basis, the foundation, and if this person would have gone to state on the state level for a petition for writ of habeas corpus, it's 3 years later, that would have been adjudicated. They should be in federal court by now. And all right, let me get over here for you guys. Most of you know I have accounts with everything. And here I am right here. So you know. So date filed, date closed. And right here, not that one, this one, that one, and that, nope, not that one, that one, and that one, and this one, and this one. So 2 cases, that's it. Nothing else in Tennessee. Which means no 2254. Which means what? Time barred. Got some splaining to do, Lucy. You know, I don't want to beat people down, and I really don't like doing videos like this. I really don't. But when people get out there and they're talking law, okay, and people make desperate decisions based on the knowledge they're receiving from somebody that they deem trustworthy. Some of those decisions leads to fines, fees, and extreme harsh penalties. I don't want to be a part of any of that. Period. That's why you don't see me posting a whole bunch of legal shit. Because everything I do, I back it up. So when you're out here and you're listening to these people that, you know, spout all this law, but have never applied it anywhere. They don't know how to apply it. They don't know how to litigate it. They don't know what to do when they're under pressure, when they need to stand on their square and bark, be heard. Most of them want you to not appear in court. They want you to disappear from court. That's the worst fucking thing you can do, because now you're disrespecting the court. Yeah. How pissed off would you be if they set a court hearing, you showed up for court, and they would say, no, there was no hearing scheduled. What do you mean? You took the day off? We're not going to pay you for a day off. You're fucked. Turn around and leave. You can be pissed off, right? Well, it's the same thing when they set the hearing date for you and you disappear. So when you listen to these folks and you follow them and all these different social media platforms, you know, listen, I can't steer everybody clear. I can't prevent anybody from doing anything. Everybody has their own free will. You can make up your own mind, listen to who you want to listen to, believe what you want to believe. Most people, you know, that I'm at the point now where, hey, you like to be lied to. You want to be, and you need to be lied to every day to stay in your crazy reality. You're locked in some narrative of somebody else's fantasy that's been repeated so often that you think it's true now. Med beds, perfect example. Perfect example. Oh, yeah. The president of the United States got duped. And it's amazing, you know. I follow, you know, a lot of people. I look at a lot of stuff. I listen to a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, really? People are just really stupid, dumb. I'm appalled. But it is what it is. So when you're listening to these people on social media and it has anything to do with law, okay, don't take it at face value. Don't take them at face value. You need to go vet. Hey, show me your background. Show me your resume. Show me your sightings. Show me your publications. Can I find you in Westlaw? Can I find you in LexisNexis? Can I find you on Google Scholar? If I Google your name, am I going to come up with a bunch of cases? Can you send me to a clerk's office where I can go look in their database and look at your material that you've done? You might as well just walk in an attorney's office and just lay down some cash for an attorney. About the same freaking thing. You people, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why y'all do what y'all do. Stay where you stay. Listen to who you listen to. If you want to learn, you got to dive in the books. How do you think I know all this shit? Because I've read it over and fucking over and over and over again. Not only have I read it, I've done it repeatedly. I couldn't even tell you how many 2254s I've filed. I've probably filed maybe a dozen 2255s for other people. 2254s, dozens. 1107s, dozens. Direct appeals, dozens. PDRs, dozens. I was listening to James C. Lovett the other day, and he did a whole video on all these post-conviction remedies. And every one he mentioned, I was like, damn, I think all but two, I've personally have filed those. I was like, hey, he should have had me on his show. Yeah. Ridocorum vobis, Ridocorum nobis, Ridocoranthro. Man, I did Rid habeas corpus ad testificandum. Man, I can go down the list. actual innocence claims, wrongful conviction claims, actual innocence applications. Absolutely. I'm not here to toot my own horn. I'm not here to solicit legal work by any means. No, I've got enough on my plate. Okay. You guys call me. I give you, my time for free to help you out, get you out of a jam. And a lot of you get sideways. And you call me to help, okay, Floyd, how do I get out of this? Well, whatever you do, don't do anything with sovereign citizen bullshit, because once they categorize you, that's it, man. Just stick a fork in your back, walk in there and throw yourself on the mercy of the court and go, I quit. What you got for me? I'm just going to take this and go. And trust me, I've had people that have been up against felonies and misdemeanors, and, they took my advice, walked them into court, and they walked out happy. Yeah, they got a misdemeanor conviction out of it, but hey, guess what? They gave their quarter, their pound of flesh to the state. State was like, okay, that's cool. We're good with this. We don't need the whole thing. Take our little chunk and beat it. So when you're following these people, I can't tell you guys enough, man, vet everything. Do your own research. Don't listen to these people. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So stop, okay? And I'm not singling out this one person that I profiled. It just like, boom, popped up in my mind, because I've seen a lot of posts about banking of all things. Okay, let me trust my finances to that financial wizard with his Harvard degree or the London School of Economics. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I can tell you, man, just do your own research. Be careful. By all means, man, follow the right people, because there are some good people on here who are legit, who actually have law books, collect law books, read law books, know how to litigate. Those are the ones you need to follow and listen to. The other ones, they're just parroting what they're learning. They just learned it. They're not even practicing, okay? They're guinea pigging. And guess who they're guinea pigging? Oh, did I point fingers? I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Yeah, don't be a guinea pig for somebody else's process or legal acumen. If you're going to play in their sandbox, don't bring your own toys to play in their sandbox. Play with their toys in their sandbox and beat the shit out of them with their toys. Then guess what? Like, we want that kid back in our sandbox, okay? He's banned. He ain't coming back. Or she ain't coming back. No, we're not getting sand kicked in our face again in public. But you got to go in prepared with the right materials, and you have to show them that you know exactly what the hell you're doing. You go in there half-stepping, stuttering, and not have your shit together, they're going to run over you. So don't do that. I always tell people, traffic tickets, municipal citations, man, those are the best learning education you're going to get for the buck. Because you can go in there, you can set it for trial, you can do a trial, you can prepare for a trial, pre-trial, everything that takes that. You can go through the trial, then you can do an appeal and go through the appellate process. So you're doing it on such a minuscule level, $500 max, but you're getting this education. You're getting that experience where you're in court, under pressure, and be able to reply on time and be prepared. So when you get through it, you'll be like, man, next time I need to do this, or I should have had that, or God dog it. That hindsight. So when it really, really, really counts, when you want to get out there, you're prepared. So if you want to walk the walk and talk the talk, be prepared. Do your own research. So when the time comes for you to stand on your square and be heard, you can do it. And not only can you do it, but you have a greater chance of winning than you ever would have before you listen to this video. Hope you learned something tonight. Thank everybody. Apologize to all the parties involved here because, I used you as an example, and I'm done beating the dead horse, but it was a perfect example of social media in the context of what my discussion is tonight, the topic of following people that are espousing law or legal remedies that have no basis, no background, no context to support you taking their counsel or advice. Because I don't give legal advice. I don't give financial advice. I don't give medical advice. I don't give friendly advice. I'm just some moron sitting in front of a laptop and likes to talk to my laptop. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Outro's coming up. If you don't want to stick around, bail now. You guys know what to do. If you need to find me, I'm real easy to find. TheFearlessFloydShow.com. My phone number's on there. Works 9 to 9. If you really have an issue that you need to talk to me about, I'll answer the phone and I'll talk to you. But make it count. Be prepared. Don't waste my time. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a great night. If I don't see you until next week, have an awesome week and weekend.
You gotta bust past, don't catch no feelings. I come through with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the TikTok, don't stop. I was at Shorty, she was non-stop. I had the hot clot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Cold do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had a bill, throw the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side. Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on trap me. Trapping with my friends right here. That's what I say. The best St. Jacks, they ain't up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When it left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Maybe the whole fucking year. Oh, we on. Bitch, I'm fucking prepared. This is my love song when I'm drunk off the beer. I love you, bitch. I'm the... Yeah. Take the day off. Cause that fucking 9 to 5 sucks. Take the day off. My opportunity. What? Take the day off. Take the day off. start from the beginning. Yeah. You gotta bust past, don't catch no feelings. I come through with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the tick-tock, don't stop. I was that shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot pot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Cold do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Hollering at me, I was one of a kind. We had to build through the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side.